Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. This video is another video in the series of things narcissistic people say, and this video is going to be about the narcissist whataboutism, when they turn things into what about when you, what about when I, what about what they said, what about what they think, to give you more information on why narcissistic people use this, how it can affect us and what we can do about it. Thank you very much to all the returning subscribers and your continued support with the channel. If you are new to the channel, I'm Elizabeth Shaw. This channel is all about the narcissist personality disorder, to give you more understanding of the people you might be dealing with in your life, how to handle yourself around those people if you cannot go no contact, and different methods to find what works for you to help you overcome narcissistic abuse. If you do find the information helpful on the channel, please do subscribe. So when it comes to a narcissist whataboutism, it's usually their defense mechanism. When you want to go and discuss something with them that they don't want to discuss, so they're going to find a way to twist it away from them and onto you or onto somebody else. So if you were to approach a narcissist about something they might have done, it might not even be anything that severe. However, they don't want to be held responsible for their own behaviour. So when you go and approach them about something they've done, a narcissist will have usually got to know all about you. They've got to know all your weaknesses, all your strengths, all your mistakes, and they will instantly turn it around, twist it and say, what about when you? Now this can be something that you have actually done. It can be something you've done that's relevant to the topic of conversation. It can be something completely different to the topic of conversation. It can be something that you haven't even done. The idea behind it is to get you on the defensive, to get you to start explaining yourself to them over things that you may or may not have done. And it might be things from years in the past. It might be things from when you weren't even with that person. Narcissists are very apt at using you against you, finding the information they need and then turning it against you, turning yourself against yourself. So when they bring up something you've done, you start defending yourself to them. Therefore, they don't need to explain themselves to you. And they will use your defences to get you going, to wind you up, to prod and poke away at you, to create that anger and frustration within you, so that when you react to them, they can then blame it all on you. They get to avoid the topic of conversation and you're left full of guilt, you're left full of shame, you're left full of self-doubt, you're left questioning, oh well, is what they did that bad? No, I'm sure I didn't do that. And you're left with the cognitive dissonance, you're left with the conflicting realities, you're left in a state of confusion while the narcissist escapes taking any responsibility for their own behaviour. Therefore, they never hold themselves accountable and they're never held accountable for their own behaviour. There's never any consequences for their behaviour and they never change their behaviour. A narcissist can also come at you if they've made you a promise. Narcissists are very good at the whole future faking thing. They will promise you something in the future to get their needs met in the present. And then once they've got their needs met in the present, they forget all about that future promise. However, to remove any feelings of shame, to remove any feelings of blame, to jump on their defensive, if you were to question them about this promise that they made yet failed to deliver, they might go all out and say, I never said that, you must be imagining things, and all the other things that narcissistic people come out with. Another one they might come out with is, what about when I did this for you? Because they are expecting that eternal gratitude. When somebody says to you, what about when I did this for you? we have to recognise that they weren't doing it for us. They were doing it for themselves, either in that present moment in time to get the praise, to get the attention, to get the adoration that they believe they're entitled to, or to use it against us further down the line. Breadcrumbing us, those future fakes, those false promises, are breadcrumbing us into that false hope trap, so that we believe if we just hold out a little bit longer, all will be okay. Only it's never okay. It always cycles back around to things never getting resolved, communication never happening, situations never being sorted out. And we're the ones that are left blaming ourselves and doubting ourselves for somebody else's mistreatment of us. What about when I did this is to confuse you, because narcissists don't always treat you badly all of the time. And it's still a form of manipulation. They've either got their attention-seeking face on, where they are people-pleasing, they are people-pleasing others to get their needs met. They're selling people an identity that the narcissist believes that person would like, so the narcissist can get their needs met. And with some people, they'll never treat them badly because they need that backup supply of flying monkeys and enablers to keep their game going. Another what about a narcissist will use is, what about X? What about Y? What about what? They're always going to bring up something else that might be irrelevant to you, it might be irrelevant to them. They might bring a third person into the conversation. What about when your friend? What about when my friends? What about when your mother? They're always going to twist it around into a way that gets you on the defensive, that gets you questioning yourself. What about if someone else has done something? What about if someone else hasn't done something? What about when this happened? It's irrelevant to the topic of conversation. They're trying to take you off topic, to distract you, to get you to explain yourself to them, to get you to defend yourself to them, so that they don't have to explain themselves to you, because they feel criticism. Narcissists have that sense of entitlement, so if they think they've got to explain themselves to you, they're going to jump on their defense mechanisms to twist it any way they can to get out of explaining themselves to you. And this is one major red flag, when you can't have a conversation with somebody over the simple things, as well as, well, you're never going to have one over the big issues if they're not going to communicate over the simple issues. If you cannot communicate with people over simple issues, if you cannot communicate with people over big issues, you're not going to go anywhere with that person. The issues are going to keep cycling around. They're going to keep coming back around because they never get resolved. But there is some narcissists where you can use limited contact and grey rock. Other narcissists you need to be careful around, and you need to find a safe way out. Those who lack empathy, you need to stay safe. When it comes to dealing with a narcissist, whataboutism, when they're coming at you with their whataboutism, one of the simple phrases to disarm this is just to turn around and don't take it personally. Don't internalize what they're saying to you. Observe the situation, observe the conversation. You started by asking them something, they've instantly twisted it around and turned it onto you. So what you want to do is just ask them, what about? When they say, what about when you, just turn around and say, what about it? More often than not, a narcissist will then go on to the victim play. Oh, I knew you'd twist this all around onto me, projecting exactly what they are doing to you onto you. To recognise the game that they are playing. Some might rage out at you, some might start intimidating you, which is why you need to know the person you're dealing with and not say things that are going to provoke them. Sometimes you need to just recognise within your own mind the entire situation and step away from the situation. Other narcissists might just completely fall silent on you. the main points are is recognise the games that they are playing. Do not internalise it. Don't take it personally. Recognise that that is on them, and it is psychological manipulation of your mind. Recognise that you can't resolve things with this person, and learn to stand in your own truth. People who want to use you against you are not the kinds of people you want to be around. You want to be around people who want to support you, help you, people you can learn and grow and develop with, communicate with, people who are willing to understand, people who are willing to show compassion, people who are just going to turn around with their whataboutism. Leave them to their what about. Let them think what about. No longer create those self-doubts within your own mind, and leave them to it. If anyone has any thoughts on this video, please do add that into the comments. There's resources in the description if anyone would like to take a look at those. Thank you very much for listening. Go out there, create the day that you deserve, because you do deserve to have an amazing day. Bye.